the whole way there. You're not going to want to try and keep doves in captivity the whole way there. These people selling animals, they were completely necessary. So why is Jesus so upset? Obviously back then they didn't have trains, they didn't have cars, all those things. So even if you lived 5 miles away, it would have been a pain to try and get all these animals. You might as well just buy them at the temple. But obviously, Jesus doesn't like what's going on. We see people that are doing exactly what needs to be done, and Jesus doesn't like it. I think the answer is very simple here. He's not upset at what they're doing, but he's upset that their focus, the focus of the temple, has gotten completely off his Father. Gotten completely off of worshiping God. These people, these money changers, obviously they're businessmen and they're trying to make an extra cent. So if you're going, like, I don't know if any of you traveled internationally, but one time I went to Mexico and I needed to turn my dollar bills into pesos. And there's different money changing stations all over, and the ones who are closer are trying to offer you, trying to get your attention. Those further away, maybe you can get a little bit more pesos for your dollars. So these people have turned it into this business. Those who are selling animals, they're jacking up the prices so they can make a living. And they've completely missed the point of what the temple is about. Jesus is upset not because of what these people are doing, but because of how they're doing it. He's upset not because they're doing all these things in his Father's house, but he's upset because the focus has been taken off of his Father. And this leads me to my first of 2 questions, and it's a simple one. But how would Jesus react if he were here in Caney Nazarene Church? Would he react with anger as he does here? Would he react with sadness? Would he react with frustration? I hope not. But I think that this is a call and a warning to us here in today's world that so often we can fill our churches with important things, needed things, great sound systems, great activities, great opportunities. And those are all wonderful, but once we get our mind off of God, off of Jesus, once our focus gets turned, then it's just in the way. These things in Scripture, the selling of the animals, money changers, were completely necessary. Here at Caney, there are so many things that are completely necessary for this church to run. But if our focus is on running the church better or on pleasing ourselves, and it's not on glorifying Jesus, then we need to stop and we need to step back and think, how do we get here? How do we get our focus off? Focus is such an important thing. As I was writing this sermon, it reminded me of, I don't know, a pretty humorous time in my opinion of my life looking back, and it was when my parents were trying to teach me how to drive. Like any 14-year-old boy, I probably wasn't the most mature and responsible person at the time. And so, looking back, I can understand a little bit why my mom reacted the way that she did. One day my mom decided she was going to teach me how to drive. And so she said, get in the car, we're going to go out of town. I heard of this place that we can teach you how to drive. We just moved to the area in Montana, and we were kind of looking for excuses to kind of get around and look for things anyway. So we drive out of town, my mom turns on this road, she says, oh, this is the road that I heard about. And I look up and it's called Dead Man's Road. And I'm just like, I don't know, that's kind of not necessarily a good sign. And I remember her kind of making a nervous joke about it, like, well, this is where other mothers have taken their kids out to teach them to drive or something like that. But she finally allows me to get in the car. And she's trying to teach me to drive, and I'd never been behind the wheel of a car before. I was backing up the car. And I didn't know what I was doing. And the first thing my mom says is, she says, now remember, you have the power in your hands to kill both you and me. And I'm like, thanks, Mom. That really just, it just takes the load off my shoulder. So right away, she is freaking me out. And I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm trying to make sure that I don't kill her and I don't kill me, or that I don't kill our car, because then she's probably going to kill me. And I'm really nervous about all these things. And as I'm trying to learn how to adjust the mirrors and how to use the pedals, my mom continually is telling me, now be careful, watch out. We're out in the middle of eastern Montana, there's nothing along, it's an old dirt road, I'm driving like 5 miles an hour, and my mom is freaking out. And I can't figure out what I'm doing, and finally, I kind of just get to the point where I'm like, Mom, can you just like try and be constructive rather than trying to tell me how I'm about to kill us all? And she said, you have to keep this at the front of your focus, otherwise you'll never learn how to drive. Now I look back and I completely disagree with that statement, but that's the way that my mom drives, I guess. And so she thought that was the way to tell me that, to teach me how to drive, and I didn't know what I was doing. Finally, I kind of got to the point where I thought that I could speed up a little bit, you know, and get a feel for things. And I was going maybe 15 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour. My mom starts doing the thing that actually my driver's ed teacher was really good at. My mom would fake hit the brake in the passenger side. You know, there's no brake, and she's holding the handle, and she's just slamming her foot down. And she's, slow down now, slow down!